So when Indians came to South Africa, they brought with them spices, traditions, and over the years they have stayed true to those traditions, but some things have changed, and especially with the cuisine, and they have made their own curries and their own sweets and that kind of thing. So today I am going to make known as GULAB JAMUN in India and GULAB JAM in South Africa. Let's get cooking. Many people think gulab jam is really difficult and because it's really served at weddings and really fancy occasions, but it's so simple, it's so delicious, and you have to try this recipe. Gulab jamuns are kind of like a cake, but it's a stiff cake fried in oil and then dipped in a syrup. So I'm going to start by making my syrup, and on the stove I'm going to put 1.5 cups of tap water, 1 cup of sugar, and I'm going to reduce that down to a syrup. It'll take about 15 minutes on low on the stove. And this is going to give that really special gulab jamuni taste. And this is a teaspoon of rose water. A tablespoon of rose water. Now it's time to make the dough or the batter for the gulab jamun while my syrup is reducing over the stove. So I'm going to take 1.25 cups of cake flour, 1 tablespoon of semolina. You can get this at any grocery store, and that's just a tablespoon of semolina. 1 teaspoon of baking powder, so that's all my dry ingredients in there. 1/2 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Get that in there. Now cardamom. I reckon that people brought cardamom straight from India on those boats, because when you smell it, you can just almost like smell the yumminess of the Indian cuisine. I love it. So this is 1/2 teaspoon of cardamom powder. And then we're going to put in about a tablespoon of butter or ghee if you have. I don't have ghee, so I'm just using butter. And yummy, 170 mils of condensed milk. I love condensed milk. It is delicious. And that is going to go into my batter for the gulab jams. You can see that there's a bit of a dough that's left behind. So I'm going to just use my hands and really form that dough nicely. There's no better tool in the kitchen than your hands. So as you can see, our dough of gulab jamun has been done. And now, this is what it's all about. So you're going to take about, I reckon that's about a teaspoon, however big you want your gulab jams to be, and just roll them into the gulab jam sausage babies.
Why are you making not balls?
No, Indians make balls. The South Africans make. So in India, they make the balls that are soaked in syrup, and in South Africa, the gulab jams look exactly like this.
That's so funny.
How cool.
Really?
How very cool.
Really?
I'm done with rolling my dough, and I've made some balls just to honor the Indians in India and some normal South African ones to honor the South Africans in South Africa, the Indians in South Africa. So now all we have to do is fry these babies up. Let's do it. Alright, so as you can see here, this syrup with the rose water, sugar and water has reduced now, and it's quite a nice syrup. It doesn't have to be very thick, but I am now going to put that into a bowl. So that is going to be the syrup that we're going to dip our gulab jams into. And now it's time to fry our gulab jams. So when my oil is nice and hot, I'm just going to give them a fry. Then I'm going to pop them in the syrup, and it's ready, and it's done, and it's so easy. So now that my oil is hot, I'm going to pop my gulab jams into the oil, and they're actually going to expand. Okay, so all that's left to do is to soak our gulab jams in our syrup that we've just made. Look at that. They're still a bit hot, but it's good because one birdie who's holding the camera told me that if the syrup is hot, it absorbs better. I mean, if the gulab jam is hot. So those are my delicious gulab jams. If you want, you can put some coconut, roll them in some coconut. I know that lots of people love coconut. I don't love coconut, but if you do, time to taste. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and thank you for watching, and all the ingredients are below our films on YouTube. Mmm.
That's good.